Good morning, Turfs Up Radio. Wayne Vos, Profits Unlimited, coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, indeed. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was just my yes indeed.
Yes, indeedy.
And me going yes indeed. We have a great show planned today for you guys. Can you believe it? Here we are. We're rolling around to another start of another week, mid-July. Oh my gosh. Rocking and rolling. Here we go. Hope everybody's off to a good start. Hope everybody showed up to work for you today, and you're out and about doing your thing, whatever that amounts to. Whether it's doing a little landscape lighting or landscaping or fert and weed or a little bit of all of it. I know we're rocking and a little bit of a whole lot of things today. And looking forward to getting a truck back today that's been out of service for about 3 weeks. You guys heard me talk about that a little bit. So, yeah, we're excited. Get that. I think it's a 550 that we got coming back. But regardless, man, it's one of our stumps, that we got. And looking forward to getting it back into production for a little mulching and landscaping work. So, going to pick that up today. So, finally got the back ordered parts in and got that taken care of. So looking forward to that side of it. Big week here today. Big week here today and this week. Just trying to get everything rocking and rolling around here. Watching in between rain showers. So far, so good. It's yesterday. I actually put a sprinkler out in my yard. Uh, yeah, I don't have an irrigation system, but stuff was looking pretty rough, man. My yard was going dormant, I mean, Mother Nature just taking care of itself. But yeah, so I finally put a sprinkler out yesterday evening, ran it for a couple hours, and felt like some of those people you see riding down the street sometimes where the irrigation's running and it's raining. Well, we had a shower roll through and it's raining, and my little oscillating sprinklers out there rolling along. So I didn't worry about it. It was all good. It was all good. It didn't rain that long. But yeah, I was really more interested in getting my landscape watered than I was my lawn, quite honestly, because I do like to keep everything blooming good and looking good. And we've had off and on rain enough to where we're still looking okay. But just trying to get my crepe myrtle to bust open and look good like I know it can. And it's still a little bit behind the 8 ball on bloom. And I don't know why. God, they're such a pain. But they're so pretty, That's the thing with it. I don't know if everybody, I don't know, you probably got a favorite plant you like, but my crepe myrtle, I just cannot make it do what it's supposed to do. And we've put a few of them in over the course of time. And, but anyway, it'll be around. It'll come along. It'll come along. It always takes a little while. It took a little while to get an ornamental tree to go in the front yard too. We had to have at least one ornamental tree in the front yard. And I've told you guys before, uh, I've got a very small front yard. I'm in a cul-de-sac. My backyard opens up nicely, but my front yard's fairly small. And, trying to get everything in there that we need to get in there sometimes can be a challenge at best. And, but we try to keep it looking good, and that's all we can do. So, that's what we're going to do. Throw a little water at it and keep things blooming and looking nice, and hopefully get my crepe myrtle looking good. So, but man, the annuals are looking good. Uh, they're looking really good. They've been getting a little TLC, and not just mine, but my customers as well. Hopefully giving your customers annuals a little TLC to keep you looking good, right? I mean, that's the reality of that. But anyways, before we get into everything, just curious to what you might have going on today. Shoot me a text. Let me know. 502-550-8307. That's 502-550-8307. Shoot me a text. Let me know what you're into today or what you did over the weekend. And just to hang it. Is it vacation time? I know we're in vacation season for a lot of people. That's the reality of that too. I do want to give a shout out to my buddy Joe Dunbar, who Smoking Joe, who's getting his hand worked on. I think today. So he had a, he had an incident with a tree versus hand on a riding mower. I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago, I guess by now, and it wasn't going great for him. So he went back to the doctor, and come to find out the screw that they had put in had come out a little bit or whatnot. So he was having to go back in. I think it was this morning, around 10 or 11, getting some work done on that. So but anyways, that's what's going on with Joe. So Joe, if you're listening to us, man, we wish you best of luck. Best of luck. Mike said he's had quite a bit of issues with crepe myrtles the last few years. Yeah, it's like, man, it's just they're tough sometimes. Um, trying to get that, trying to get the what you want to grow, and every time we seem to replace it, we go into a winter where it's really cold, and you guys know the crepe myrtles can't take that. So this was the crepe myrtle on a graft, and so it went from the graft to the back to the plant when it came back, and it's and that's fine too. But I'm just looking forward to bloom. Bloomed last year, little bit decently. So, anyways, oh lordy, I hear you, Mike. Mike said he just gave up on crepe myrtles predominantly. Seems like they'd be a little bit easier in your market. I know you're a little further south than we are, and not too far, but I mean far enough um, to where maybe it'd be a little easier, but I guess not. So, Mike said he switched customers' crepe myrtles out to coral bark Japanese maples. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, I would too if it was a customer issue, but I don't know. I'm just hanging in there. I'm gonna see what happens with it. If I sound a little bit stuffed up, I am. It's not your ears. It's not your speakers. It's me. My head's a little stopped up still, and again, I don't feel too bad. I really don't, but it just sounds a whole lot worse than it is. And I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm not coughing. I don't think as nearly as bad as I was. So but some of that's still going on. So, but I did want to let you know about if I sound stuffed up, I am, man. It's not anything on your end. It's over here on our end, specifically my head. So, but with that being said, Seth, see what he's got going on this morning. Seth says, "Good morning, good morning." I pray good morning back at you, Seth. I appreciate that. He's setting boulders on landscaping. Yeah, I had a great weekend. Thanks for asking, man. And I hope you guys had a great weekend. We didn't do a whole lot. Friday got a new table delivered, and I want to give the guys kudos on delivering that. We got it from a place here in Louisville, a pool and patio uh, facility, and they got it delivered. Tabitha was there, and she took delivery on it and said the two young men that brought it in were very courteous and you know got it where she wanted it, and it's all good. So looking forward to that. The funny thing about it, while we were waiting on it, because we ordered this thing back in Memorial Day, and they told us it was going to be 4 to 6 weeks, so it wasn't a problem waiting on it. And 'cause they hit their time frame, just fine on it as far as we're concerned. But anyway, they brought it, got it set up, and you know, very courteous. She was saying, and it's nice to have a good experience with something like that. I don't know. Uh, I think we all feel like that. It's just nice when you buy something. You know, pay for delivery. I did pay. I think it's $199 to have it delivered and set up. Set up meaning putting it together. And I know a lot of you guys laugh at that probably when I said that, but I'm just not in the business of putting stuff together, man. I know it's not hard. It was only four chairs and a table. I don't even know what was involved in the table, but uh, I just didn't want any reason for it not to be right. That was my point with it. So, but so they brought it. It was all assembled when they got there. They put it up for us and got it up on the deck and brought it up there on the deck, and it's all good. So we actually got to use it a little bit Friday night. We're not there too long though because it was hot, man. It was Haiti hot. Haiti's hot, but had to sit down out there for a few minutes with it, just because I didn't want it to feel like we didn't love it. But yeah, so looking forward for a little bit of a cool off to get to use it a little bit more, or a whole lot more actually. It's been spending a lot of time on that deck, a lot of good free time out there though, and we just back these temperatures back just a tad to where we can do it a little more comfortably. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I had a good weekend. Got that done Friday. Saturday went to do a little shopping with Tabitha. Got a few things for out on the deck and around the house, some knick-knack stuff, and that was an adventure. Yeah, we went around a little bit doing a little shopping, and then yesterday made a trip up to Lexington and saw Holly. Me and Katie and Alyssa went up there and saw Holly and had lunch with her. So that was pretty cool. That's 2 weekends in a row. I don't know when the last time I saw Holly 2 weekends in a row. So, but yeah, we had a great weekend, and I hope yours was the same. Daniel had a bachelor party he went to. He can tell us a little bit about that later on if he hops on here with us. But I think they had a really good time. And if I forget, be sure to ask them about their swim trunks that they had. They, but they he showed me a picture of them. So, but I mean, the four of these guys that went on to this bachelor's party, I mean, they had the shapes to wear these things. So, it's pretty interesting. So, uh, anyways, we'll see how that goes. Chad, guy that works with us here, his daughter graduated from Navy boot camp. I guess you call it graduation. I don't know. I didn't ask him. Technically, what they call it. Here you go, Daniel. It's in your chair there. But yeah, it was. He had a good weekend up there. He said everything went great, and before they started back here, I think he said Saturday had started to head back to Louisville, and that, like I said, that was Chicago. And he said before they hit Indianapolis, his daughter had already been relocated to her new location. Uh, I think South Carolina, North Carolina, and I'm sure he doesn't mind me sharing that. It's not a covert operation, but yeah. So she's on to doing her training for her main line of work that she's going to do there. So time flies when you're having fun. I can't believe that little she's a young lady now. She's not a little girl. God, I remember when she was a little girl though. So, uh, yeah, congratulations to Lexi on that, man. Just that accomplishment and moving along with her life. So that's awesome. That's awesome. And other than that, that's pretty much my weekend in a nutshell. So we're going to take a short break and we'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio. Your industry, your station. Don't you go anywhere. Oh, Aaron Walls, what's going on? Aaron said, my front yard is perfect for the Grinch theme. Yeah, well, I got the green and the red on the crepe myrtle that I'm trying to make it bloom and look good. So, and the buds are on there. It just hadn't popped out yet for some reason. So, Mother Nature is going to help us with that. We're going to make that happen. So, anyways, but yeah, that it is time to be thinking about a season ahead. We talk about that quite a bit. So, we're always thinking. Katie's thinking a season ahead for us, for sure, with our advertising and marketing here at WLS. And matter of fact, we had another customer call today, wanting to go ahead and get on our aeration and overseed list. So, Yay, Katie, great job. That's working. This lady's a customer of ours, actually, and we're currently in that mode of soliciting our existing customer base with priority scheduling times. And she said, "Yep." She said, "Last year when I called, y'all told me I was too late to get it done, and because we do to put a time restriction on it, not because we want to, but because we want the customer to see, results from the seeding, and not just seed it and say, okay, well there it's done, kind of concept. When you're trying to let somebody see some result, uh, that's when we do figure out, okay, this is the time we've got, and we got to get it done by then, and blah blah blah. And we're not getting into that side of it today, but and we will down the road here shortly. But the reality of it is, I was talking with Miss Weber, and I said, those phones are an awesome thing, aren't they? Keeping you up to date and reminded. She said, "Oh yeah." She said, "I put a reminder in my phone last year when Katie told me, hey, reach back out to us about mid-July." So here we are. Don't you wish everybody just paid attention like that? I mean, that is just so awesome. So, not just from a selling perspective, but just somebody that knows what they want to do with their yard. You give them advice, they heed the advice, they set the reminder. And even with us, we don't count on our customers remembering or setting their own reminders. We set the reminders for them, if you will. I mean, that's the reality of it. We do a whole lot of okay, fine, and we'll have a task that'll pop up within our software that'll tell us, hey, reach out to Miss So and So. I actually had something with a truck the other day that we had in for some service, not the one that we're picking up today, but the service writer actually, mentioned about getting something done on the truck. And I'm like, well, do we need to get it done, or is it okay without it? And he says, no, it's fine. I said, well, can you reach out to us mid-October, first part of October to mid-October? I said, by then, we'll be converting that truck over to our fall services, and we'll have the spray tank out of it, and, just be a little more convenient for us to keep it during production now for a little bit longer. And he's like, yeah, we can do that. So I'll keep y'all posted on that. I really will, to see how well they are on the follow up of that. I just wanted to see if, and knowing this business, I would say they're going to follow up with us, quite honestly. And it wasn't just a means to put the guy off or not spend the money. It was just, hey, if it doesn't done, need to be done, let's put it off a little bit. So that's what we decided to do. And he's supposed to reach out to us in early to mid October. So, and then at that point, if we got the tank out of it, then we'll go ahead and get some front end work that it could use. And it's warranty work is what it is. Uh, on one of our trucks, I think it's a 2023, 2022. I'm not sure what year it is, but it's some warranty work on that where they've already decided they didn't like what they put in the front ends of the truck, so they're switching it out for us. So that's what we're going to be doing. So we'll see how their follow up works with that. So, but something I wanted to talk about today, getting on a more serious note, profit time and all is, and I got a lot of little things I want to talk about today. Daniel's actually hopped on with me now. So Daniel, thanks.
Yes, good to be here.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into our serious thing I want to talk about, uh, you had your bachelor party, not your bachelor party, but
Yeah, part
Colin,
of.
your friend, was part of a bachelor party down in Nash Vegas.
Yeah, literally, it's what it's turned into.
Uh, yeah, a lot of people are calling it that now, Nash Vegas.
Yeah,
So
I mean, it genuinely is. I don't want to say comparable as far as like size goes, but like comparable as far as craziness goes.
was
It's
it?
crazy down there. Yeah,
Yeah.
packed.
I mean, was everything just busy?
Yeah, I
Just
mean the whole like Broadway, the
yeah,
whole thing of
yeah.
what people go there for. But yeah, I mean,
Could you get in a bar? I mean,
yeah, you
could you
could get
get a
in.
drink?
Yeah, you could definitely get in. There was no problems with service or getting in. It was just packed.
There's just a lot of
And
people.
really even crazy. as it sounds, except for one place we went into, which was like super packed. Everywhere was busy, but you could still walk around and get around easily. But the streets were the hardest part to get to navigate.
Well, the biggest wide open areas.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which I will say, like Vegas has those super wide sidewalks, which is nice, and maybe that's something Nashville looks into in the future for that specific area
Yeah,
somehow is figuring that out. Which I mean, how do you do it when you're landlocked? But I don't. But definitely, if it gets more popular, they're gonna have, as great as that is, a problem with something.
yeah. How I wonder how they became what they've become.
I don't know other than just the
I
country
mean,
music and people going down there for that, but it's so much more than that now. You know,
yeah,
there's
that
bars
they
that have
were
all sorts
saying
of
that they
music.
had what MMA. Y'all went to an
Yeah,
MMA fight
yeah, UFC event
or
down there.
UFC.
We had the WWE was down there Friday at Bridgestone as well, and there's just a ton of stuff going on.
I
So
mean, yeah, it's crazy. How was your all's hotel?
it was good, you know. I mean, as far as amenities go, it had restaurants and pool and all the things
Speaking
you
of
would want.
pool, tell hey, what
Yeah,
about the pool adventure?
yeah, we had our our special trunks. You could call them that.
If you could call them that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
What did y'all have some eyeballs on y'all? I'm sure.
yeah, yeah, a few.
Yeah.
I walked with through. You know, it was only one floor, one quick little elevator thing to the pool, but I wore my other shorts as like a cover basically up until we got to the pool and we were getting in. So they
Yeah.
were short. They
They
were definitely short.
they were short. Huh?
Hmm.
Good deal. Good deal. So y'all had a good time and
Yep. Everything went as planned.
yay. Well, good deal. It was funny yesterday, Tabitha, actually Friday, she was like, "Did you check on Daniel, make sure he got there?" I'm like, he's 30 years old. No, I'm not calling and saying
Yeah.
daddy's checking on you, you know?
I'm proud of Carla. You know,
Did Carl
I don't
Scott?
think she didn't text it or anything.
Oh my God. I know I told Tabitha, I said, I'm not doing it because I know Carla's blowing Colin up. So
He did say though, she has kind of backed off a little bit. So,
good for
you
her.
know,
And
time.
y'all got to know these are very great friends
Yeah,
of mine.
that's just the
And,
way she is,
but
though. It's just
yeah,
very
she's just, since
protective.
Colin was old enough to breathe, she's just very protective of those Colin and Lindsay, her daughter.
Yeah.
Just, it took me like 10 years to get her to trust me. The take and put him on a boat and tube. Remember that guy? She was like, no, no, nobody's taking him tubing. And they
Yep.
had their own boat too,
Yeah.
but she finally did let me take him one day. And I thought, oh God, we finally crossed over the edge. We've crossed the edge. But I'm glad you guys had a good time. And when Colin's wedding's coming up, what, in
September.
September?
Yep. 20th. So
He's got about a month, a little over, what, yeah. Oh, no, 2 months.
August. Yeah.
Too
That's
much. Yeah,
September.
he's got August and September. Damn, I was thinking it was August already because I was just responding to a thing. A guy sent me an email about getting on wants me to get on a podcast with him.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely going to do that,
Be cool.
and absolutely going to do it. So we'll see how that goes. And that was in July, I think July 30th.
Nice.
But anyways, I want to talk about couple things today, Daniel, and I know you'll have some good input on this all the way around. But number one, all the hats we wear, regardless of the size of your company, it just seems like and the smaller your company is, obviously, the more hats you wear. Joe Dunbar actually gave me the thought process on this when he was talking about getting his hand. He hurt his hand and he's going back to get a screw tightened up or something in it. But he's the one that actually, in talking to him, gave me the idea to talk about this for a few minutes today. Uh, the the pecking order, if you will, of hey, when do you work on production? When do you work on sales? When do you work on accounting? Because when you're like Joe and you wear 99% of the hats,
Yeah.
you know, uh, it's tough to take a day off. I mean, it really is. I remember that. I remember that. And as your company grows a little bit, and you can get that some of that responsibility out to somebody else, it sure is nice. But and I mean, Daniel, I mean, not only with Turfs Up Radio, but you've got your own podcast that you do as well. I mean, you've got a couple different things going business wise. What what's it like? I mean, what would be your recommendation to these guys out there? And
I just think it's delegation obviously is what we think of when we do it, like, oh, tell this person to do this thing. But a lot of times we can set up systems that delegate as well, whether it be like actual CRMs and stuff, like softwares and stuff, or scheduling out Facebook posts or whatever. But also like how, like when you are bidding and you're going to go bid on something, do you have templates that you use? Are you writing everything out every single time? When it comes to obviously probably not a contract every single time, but like communication, emails, follow ups, are you doing that all by hand every single time? That's one thing that if you just have templates that you can insert, names and whatever in, like that saves a ton of time, especially in the busy season, or, pre made templates for, um, like collections or um, advertising templates or whatever. Like
right,
there's so many ways that the things that you do, or you're like your invoice templates, why, if you're setting up an invoice every single time, like that's crazy or whatever. Like there's things that you can do that really cost no money. You don't have to pay an additional fee for whatever. It's a little bit of time to do it, but you're doing it anyway.
right,
So save it as a template um, when you do it. An email to whatever. Just there's so many like
little things,
little things that you probably do in a day that is double work, and you do it again the next day, and it's triple work. And it's like if you can do it once, do it once, and then figure out how you can duplicate and then like template
right.
template it.
Just something, and I mean that's the thing because you do have that much responsibility going on, and talk about delegating. Here's a perfect thing. We're just talking about Matt, one of our crew leads, just said, "Hey, man, I need to head back toward the shop. Just want to give you a heads up. They're rushing a son to the hospital."
Oh wow.
So, you know, so there we go. So, well, hopefully that's all okay. See what's going on with that. So he's not a young kid, but I mean, still, you don't want your son going to the hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason you're getting taken to the hospital like that.
Yeah.
So,
But even things like what's your daily routine look like? If you're stressing out about what you're going to wear every day, I mean, it sounds silly, you might have a uniform, but like, what's your routine for making sure you have clean clothes, clean laundry, and uniforms on a daily basis? Or, where are all my tools? Where's this? Where's that? Even if you're the one doing it, make sure you have a place for that. So when you need it, you don't
right,
take 20 minutes to find it. Or, being organized from the shop perspective or whatever, your garage, if that's what you're using, or whatever is another big way to save time. Um, I mean, I don't know. There's just so many things you can do that don't require any money that can save you hours and hours
right,
of time.
getting done. So we do wear a lot of hats. So in the grand scheme of thing, the tricks to the trade on that is uh, time management with your hats. What can you
Yeah.
do a little bit better and different? Uh, and what can you delegate out?
Yeah.
And I think that's something certainly that we all need to think a little bit more about is what can be delegated out to help things move along within your business if something happens to you.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of different things can take place. So, with that being said, let's take a short break. We'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. Darren Gruner just sent me a really nice picture of a boat. So, I don't know if that's his or not. So, I'd like to have. Looks nice. Looks nice. Maybe he's just going on a ride. Maybe that's their new boat. Maybe that's an old boat they had that he left up there. Who knows? But send me a picture of a really nice squared away boat there. So I will say, man, that's one thing I don't miss is, my boat.
Hmm. It's hard to miss it though when you're not at the lake.
Well, yeah, that's true too. That's true too. Maybe that's got something to do with it as well, right? That certainly could make a big difference. But yeah, you never know. It's if I was sitting down there and it's 95 degrees outside and
Yeah.
hot and wanting to figure out how the hell we're going to cool off, yeah, it might be a completely different mindset with missing it or not missing it. So looks like Aaron's out doing a little landscaping and trimming work today. Look at them pulling a big old tarp full of
Oh wow. Yeah.
debris.
Looks like fun.
Yeah, good job, Aaron. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. I'm gonna let Daniel take over for a second.
All right. I am the fill-in prophets. Gosh, so much to talk about, when it comes to profit, but no. While I'm on here though, make sure you check out the pump station every Monday through Friday. Today we had a great episode on the importance of muscle, not just for the aesthetic, but also specifically today we talked about like metabolic health and how it can help you increase your resting metabolic rate, which is going to help you burn fat while you're doing nothing. It's going to increase your metabolism. So there's a lot of benefit in that. Some pretty crazy stats in regards to how much it can increase your calorie burnage. I think it's like I'm trying to remember back to my show. I had somewhere around 7% increase, which doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it turned out to be like if your resting calorie usage for your body was 2000, it was like an additional 140 calories per day. So that's actually pretty significant if you're trying to lose some weight. So yeah, go check out that episode we did today on the pump station, wherever you found podcasts.
On the pump station.
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy. So, anyways, good thing with that. Good news on that. So, but anyways, hey, I want to talk Daniel, and I know you have some good input on this too today. One of the things we want to talk about is, uh, our account. We had to put an account into collections today, and I'm not a big fan of had doing that or having to do that or wanting to do that, but unfortunately, I think it's Seth. That's a nice picture you sent me there too, buddy. Um, we'll talk about that here in a second, but I don't know. It's why does somebody that authorizes the work to get done, they know what the price is going to be to get the work done, and then decide they don't want to pay for the work that they got done. I mean,
It's frustrating,
somebody,
to say the least.
you know, you guys out there listening, put your hat on and put your collection hat on. I mean, we give them an ample opportunity to pay. Wasn't a problem with the service. It was a commercial facility, is the situation. And, her contention is that, well, she didn't authorize the work. Well, one of the other people there did authorize the work, uh, that has the authority to authorize the work and go to hold it over our head. I mean, and I think really what I think, Daniel, I think they look at us as, well, it's just the lawn service, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, this company is not a huge company by any stretch of the imagination, but they got a nice company. It's a nice local company. And I, why does one small business try to rob another small business? I don't get it.
Yeah,
I mean, I just really don't get it.
it's hard to say in every specific example, but for this one, I mean, there's so many things. Like, who knows what financially, and not to say that like, oh well, just because they're struggling financially, they shouldn't pay the lawn service. That's of course not what I'm saying, or you would anybody would say, but who knows really? I mean, this scenario, it's like
Yeah,
what has caused someone, because a commercial, I feel like in a commercial account, especially a smaller one, you're usually dealing with people who know each other,
right,
kind of have a
right.
relationship a little bit. It it's a little bit more personal.
And let me give you all a little bit of background to what Daniel's talking about this too, because he's right. It is, you do have a more of a relationship with a local company, a because they were a family business, and we've provided service for them for a while. I mean, several years, and didn't have any problem at all. And then the father passed away, and now we're sitting here with somebody else running it within the family. And I don't know if it's a power trip or what it is, but I don't know. Katie, what's your opinion on that? You got a good mind about how people think and stuff. I mean, is it a why does it go from a goofed up relationship to a good relationship to a bad relationship over something like that? I mean,
Just, I mean, it's such individual psychology on what this person is feeling, experiencing, thinking, but maybe a sense of like, hey, this was the old way, maybe this is the new, I'm doing it this way now, and I didn't do this, I'm not doing it like that. I have to have all the power, whatever, like micromanagement or, who knows. But I think that goes back to, you know, what can you do, and not necessarily in this particular situation, but like, do you have a specific um contract in place that says, "Hey, this is what we're doing." Like if it's a yearly thing or if it's a one-off job, hey, here's exactly what we're doing. And I know in this specific example, like you said, like we had agreed on the price and then they didn't want to pay. But if you have some of those things in place, that can help situations like this or kind
right.
of like this. So there's, still things to learn. Maybe not in our case for that, but for people listening, dealing with commercial accounts, a lot of times they do respond a little bit better to the contract threat because they kind of understand, okay, well, we don't want to worry
Yeah.
about that, so we're just going to,
Because, I mean, we got a signed contract. They
yeah,
agreed to the price, they agreed to the service. It's like, why not pay it? And the service was fine.
yeah,
They even called it, I mean, here's a little more scenario for you guys. They called us right before the Derby and said, hey, we got a news crew that's coming out here that's going to be filming for the Derby for us, a commercial. Can y'all get us taken care of? You always give us great service. And we did. So it ain't like anybody in the organization was not privy to us coming out to do a little bit of mulching and landscape work.
right,
It's not like it's a $10,000 job, and that wouldn't even matter.
right,
You know, I mean, or $100,000 job, or fill in the blank. It's not a big job, but it's a job worth getting paid on.
yeah,
They all are.
yeah,
So I don't know. I'll keep y'all posted on that end of it. But the reason we're even having this discussion on my radio show is the man, you earned it. You go get it.
yeah,
I mean, regardless of what kind of BS excuses they want to throw around of why they're not paying it and why they're not doing this, you know, uh, just go after it. Don't be Wayne Vose on that like I used to be and not worry about it, you know, because to me, it was a whole lot easier not to try to chase it, if you will.
yeah.
And
And maybe this is also a good reminder too, not, you don't do it because of this or especially solely because of this, but get those deposits.
yeah,
That's a good, another good reminder.
here's another good example of where we did not because of their longevity with us, and it comes back to bite you in the butt.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think a lot of times um, things can become, especially in a small business, and I don't even mean small in regards to like one truck, but a small business like family owned or like the way we are as a small business, anything that's not, Microsoft and Walmart and things like that.
right?
Like policies, we're pretty good about policies being policies, but pretend, and I think you've maybe even said this before pretty recently, when gosh, I can't remember how you said it, but basically pretend that your business is just as rigid in what your policies are, or don't pretend, but like pretend like, oh, let's say I'm Microsoft, what would they do in this situation? They say this is what the rules are, and that's what they do. They don't say, oh, because you have this many years with us or this, that, and the other,
Right.
you can break the rules or not participate in the rules. And I think that if we can do better as a whole, as an industry, at enforcing the rules all the time, we can solve some of the problems or maybe even a lot of the problems that we face because it's like, oh, well, he, she, or the company has been a customer for a while. So we're not going to, we're going to
Right.
just forget the contractor. They just text us in and say they get it done. So then we do it. And then it blows up in our face because it wasn't signed or whatever situation was, or we're going to do this, thing for them, whatever, or not do this because, we're not going to charge the fee because they've been a customer for a while or whatever. So just have your policy in place and enforce it. And I think we as the business think we're being harsh by enforcing policies, but most of the times customers are okay with it, right? Like,
Right. No, that's
and
right.
it's also like it is what it is to the customer. Okay, well that's their policy. I may not love it, but I like the work they do, and so that is what it is. And it's like Sherry the other day having to pay her, and we all do it for I don't know everybody ever, but we all here do it. When we move, we pay a $30 setup fee for Spectrum or whoever you
Right.
have, right? Even though I've been a customer, Sherry's probably been a customer for 30 years at a few different locations.
Right.
It's like, oh, you got your setup fee 4 times. Why do you have to get it now? A
Right.
small business might go, you know what? They've been a customer for a while. We'll waive the setup fee and, whatever.
Right.
And there's times to,
That's
I'm
a
not
very
saying like
valid
there's
point.
never times to be the nice guy, but don't just be the guy that has policies but never enforces
And
them.
never enforce them. And that's where I caught myself doing a lot of that, many back in the day. I still get kind of soft now sometimes, and y'all get me back in line, you know. But my dad was not like that. He was of the impression, hey, we did the work, you need to pay,
Yeah.
But that's because he came from that corporate America side,
Right.
of hey, pay what you said you were going to pay.
Yeah.
And that's what I want all of us to get better at. And starting with you and your company is, by gosh, if that money is yours and you did the work the way you said you were going to do it and they agreed to the work, then regardless of their excuse,
Yeah.
make sure you get paid for the work.
Yeah.
And if not, go after it. And I'm not talking about, I hear so many guys say, and this was Wayne, so I'm not throwing any of y'all under the bus. I swear to God, I'm not. You know, well, it's only $200 or it's only $400 or it ain't worth it for $1,000. If I had all it ain't worth it's over $1,000 or $500, I'd be on the beach somewhere.
True.
I mean,
And don't be intimidated by someone that says something about legal action.
oh yeah,
Especially if you have all the things done well that you should have done in place. Don't let that intimidate you or scare you.
yeah. Well, I'm nah. Well, I'm going to give you a bad review. Well, you're probably going to give us a bad review anyway.
Yeah.
I
The
mean,
the
matter of
especially on
fact,
a
where's
bigger
your good
job.
review for the job we did for you?
Yeah, especially on a bigger job. Let's say it's more than just a one time, like if you're doing a mowing and then they cancel, like it's a $75 cut or something, whatever. Which a lot of times those are the ones that you do kind of get screwed on. But like if it's a bigger $5,000 job, like that money is worth way more than one bad review, right? Like it's kind of
Yeah,
different if it's a $75 and then it's like, okay, well, if I'm weighing the pros and cons of this, that one bad review might be worth more than the $75 one-time cut versus the $5,000 landscaping. Yeah, I'd rather have the 5,000 than the bad review.
right. Yeah, pick your hats.
Yeah.
Talking about the hat situation today. Pick what hat that you're going to wear with that. But yeah, and utilize and to Daniel's point, don't let them intimidate you by saying, well, I'm going to tell my friends, or I'm going to give you a bad review, or I'm going to, oh, fine, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. Fine, that's a great idea. And I've
Yeah.
told not a million, but plenty of people this, would before you go to and get an attorney, take the contract that you signed with you so they see what they're getting involved in.
Yeah.
you know, and if they tell you that it's not right, then get them,
Right.
you know. But and that's why I am such a stickler on using service agreements for the services that we offer, regardless of what it is. I mean, people like, well, man, why are you worried about a service contract for 8 loan applications? Well, don't look at it on the scheme of, well, it's only 8 loan applications and one customer. It's how many customers do you have times 8? That's what you're protecting. And how many customers do you want to have? What your goals as far as company growth may be. You say, well, I'm a small company. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be me and my truck. Matter of fact, I took the passenger seat out of my truck because I don't want anybody working with me because I can't work with anybody. Well, still protect yourself. And more importantly, protect the people that ain't riding in the gosh dang truck with you. And that's your family, you know? Protect them. And what I mean by that is get paid for them. If you don't care about yourself losing the money, your family would certainly want the money from the job. And I don't mean that the way it sounds. You know, you they deserve it. You deserve it. Your company deserves it. The industry deserves it. So don't just and maybe that is a good challenge, Daniel, that I put up. You don't even know what it is, but I'm gonna put it out there. And if you don't agree, tell me about it.
All right.
But I think that's the challenge to everybody listening. I want you to ask yourself how many or how much money over time have you said, I ain't going to worry about it? I want you to look at that today. I want you to work on that today. That's the homework assignment. And that's not going to help me. That's strictly to help you. And I want you to look at a number that pops up. And maybe you say, well, wait, I've never had an account not pay me. Then I'm going to sound like my dad and say, you just don't have enough work. You have not done enough work if you've never had anybody not beat you out of something. Now, that's the reality of that. Let's see what Mike's got here. Can you imagine them telling their friends, man, I'm mad at Wayne's Lawn Service. I signed and agreed to a price, and they delivered the service, was great. And when they billed me exactly what they said they were going to bill me for, I'm not going to pay them. Hell, might get you a new customer.
Yeah.
There you go, Mike.
That's
That's the point. That is the point.
yeah. And it's
Exactly.
unfortunately that's not the way they view the situation, but
That's
that
what it is interpreted, isn't it? I mean
yeah, that's the
that
reality of
that
it.
is the reality of it. So, with that being said, let's take a short break. We'll be right back with more Profit Time here on Turfs Up Radio, your industry, your station. Yeah, Daniel, I just hate to see guys get beat out of money.
Yeah.
And I mean, just because you turn them over to a collection agency, I mean, and if you guys need any help with that, I'd be happy to talk to you about who we use. But we certainly have had really good results with these guys over the course of many years. And thing is, you don't lose 50 or 60, 70% of the money. It's not that type system initially anyway. So, but maybe we can get them on and talk to them about that, or certainly get them in the profit circle as well. Talk about, how they can maybe help you guys, get what you deserve. It's just really that simple, man. But anyways, with that being said, they're going to collections today. Not proudly doing it, but doesn't bother me to do it. And, I wish they would have paid. There's another thing too, and I don't want you guys to think that just because you've got a signed contract and just because you put somebody in collection, and there's lots of reasons that we'll talk about later. But another show we'll talk more in depth with it. But doesn't mean you're going to get paid either.
Right. Here's what I think it does, though, and maybe you'll touch on it, but I think it screens a lot of the people out that are going to try to beat you out of the money.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. We find that, and the surprising part when we started using a collection agency after we called them and emailed them and sent 75 paper copies, and all the BS that they want you to do. Oh, I didn't get it, or could you send me another one, or all that. What we found is when we start using a collection agency, that they didn't even fire us. They're like, damn, they want their money, I guess. And that's the reality of it. You just want to be paid for what they agreed to at the price they agreed to pay when the service was completed. And yeah, some do fire you afterwards, but what are you losing?
Yeah.
That's what you really got to look at. What are you losing? So, with that being said, stay tuned to Turfs Up Radio all day long. And remember, profit is not a dirty word. We'll see you Wednesday.